Yes, my people, vamos falar. Atletico Madrid 1, Botafogo 0. How do we get here? There's a myth, a misconception in football that Diego Simeone is this negative manager. He doesn't want to attack, he only wants to defend, he wants all 11 players behind the ball. In my opinion, this couldn't be further from the truth. When analyzing Atletico Madrid and what they were looking to do in this game against Botafogo, the lineup was a 4-4-2. However, in practice, especially when they were looking to build, it was a 4-3-3. Typically, Arios playing just in front of the center halves, as he's the most creative and forward-playing midfielder that they have. DePaul and Gallagher would occupy the 2-8 positions ahead of him, and then it would typically be a front three of Julian Alvarez, Sorloth, and Simeone. The idea for Atletico Madrid was simple. Get the ball into the wide spaces with Galan and Llorente playing as fullbacks, giving Atleti that width, and oftentimes it would be Julian Alvarez and Simeone within the half spaces. And the idea was get the ball into Sorloth, let him knock the ball down if he couldn't get it towards goal, and have the players around him attack it to win those second balls, potentially win a penalty, or obviously score a goal. However, when Atletico would lose the ball, if they couldn't break through Botafogo's lines, if the defense would clear the ball, the idea wasn't for Atleti to just drop into a shape and now let Botafogo have the ball and defend. Diego Simeone's idea is clear. As soon as we lose the ball, we need to win it back as quickly as possible. Now, obviously, when this is your game plan, you become susceptible to balls in behind. Botafogo were always looking to play vertical and go long as quickly as they won the ball. They didn't want to get into staggered possession. They wanted to turn defense to attack as quickly as possible. However, credit to Atleti and Diego Simeone, they didn't necessarily let that happen. As soon as they would lose the ball, there would be bodies around to win the ball back and go and attack again and again and again. Realistically, Botafogo were very well organized defensively. They sat in their block, they'd let Atleti attack them, and they dealt with a lot of dangerous chances. However, as the game wore on, and the conditions, it's really warm where they're playing, you could see that Botafogo were starting to get worn out by the attacks from Atleti. Some really good in-game management. Griezmann comes in and eventually scores the winner. Realistically, they could have scored 3, 4, 5 goals. The end quality on the day wasn't the greatest, I have to be honest. But the reality is, Diego Simeone coached perhaps a 3-1 or 4-1 game. As I've always said, it comes down to the quality of the players. The execution at the end of a play, that's what matters. That's what wins games, and that's what loses games. The idea, though, that Diego Simeone is this extremely negative manager, I think it's an outdated opinion. I don't think it's real. I think if you actually sit and watch the games, it couldn't be farther from the truth. We're going to be dropping some analysis on the Inter Miami game later tonight.